So lately we've been taking a look at some pretty expensive vehicles. So today I thought we'd take a trip back down to earth and take a look at something way more affordable. This is the 2023 Hyundai Venue. So today we're taking a look at the ultimate package. It has LED headlights with a cornering function, so they do kind of move at nighttime. So we've also got a black chrome grille, a 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels, automatic temperature control, premium cloth seats, and also a powered sunroof. So under the hood, we have a SmartStream G1.6 inline four cylinder. That's what Hyundai is calling it, the SmartStream. So every Venue comes with this engine, and that is probably the most unfortunate part of it. So every single engine for the Venue this year produces 121 horsepower, 113 pound-feet of torque, and unfortunately we also have an IVT transmission. If you don't know what IVT is, think CVT, think like Honda Civic. They're never good, they're never fun to use, and you know, they're kind of smooth, but they're not the greatest thing in the world. So a slower engine combined with an IVT in this case is honestly the worst part about the Venue, and I'll go into more detail when I do take it for a drive. But this is a $30,000 car. It is a compact car, so we are going to review it exactly how that is. It's cost savings, we're trying to save money, maybe hopefully we're trying to save a little bit on fuel, so let's get right to the rest of this. So up front first for the Hyundai Venue. So not a lot of changes for this year, not a lot, it's been around for a little bit, so there hasn't been that much going on. But I do like it. I feel like since it's their cheapest SUV that they can offer, they went with something kind of interesting. So you have these square daytime running LEDs, then you have a main lamp in here, and you also have a nice light bulb right here too. So it does look cool at night, not too bad. Then we have this nice blacked out grille with the classic Hyundai badge. There's no sensors or anything like that in the front, because again, we're trying to cost save, so parking sensors would probably send us through the roof. Just below this square headlight here, we have some actually real vents, which is interesting, kind of just sends air through and around the wheel, so that's not too bad. Little intake down there too. So I really like what they've done with the color. Hyundai always has done a very, very nice red, and it really mixes well with this black grille here that is kind of hard to clean because you got like these little like triangles everywhere. But overall, it's a very nice, unique looking front end. So back of the Hyundai Venue, the first thing that stands out is the big Venue lettering. You can't miss it. Then you have the classic Hyundai logo, a nice rear wiper. The visibility out of the back here is okay. We do have a backup camera, which is great. I do really appreciate the fact that at least we have that. So you know what, we'll take it. Then again, we have these tail lights that are interesting as well. They're square like the front LED lights are. So very cool though. I don't actually mind it. It just kind of looks unique. It ties the whole car together. And you went with the unique style, so you know what else is there to say about it. There is no exhaust. I mean, there's no noticeable exhaust because there is an exhaust. Obviously, this is a gas car, but there's no exhaust note that's crazy or anything. It's actually pretty quiet, and you know that doesn't really do anything crazy, but not too bad overall. So let's take a look up in the trunk section. It opens sort of automatically. It's not an actual like electric automatic thing, but you know what, we'll take that for what it is. And then the trunk space is surprisingly good. It's, you know, you got enough room under here. There's a spare tire under here, so I don't hate it. It's really cool. If you fold the seats down, you're gonna have a lot of room. The only thing is you are trading off the trunk space for the rear space. When you see when I sit in the back seat of the rear, I really don't have that much leg room at all. So here we are, side profile for the Hyundai Venue, and this is where it really highlights its compactness. There really isn't much to it. As you can see, there's a whole bunch more room in the front than there is in the rear, and then the trunk is quite small too. You're kind of trading trunk space for room, like I said when I actually showed you the back of the car. But we do have a one-touch lock and unlock. Again, no sensors, no cameras here on the side. It's as bare bones gets, but we do have some nice rims. I do like the styling of these 17-inch rims. They're very, very cool and nice. But it's, you know, I do like the red too, and I like the black, and then we have some nice roof rails if you want to tie a kayak or something. It is meant for doing little things like that, so it is good for that. So let's take a look on the interior. Let me open this door here. And as you can see, there is not a lot of room and not a lot of colors. Lots of black, lots of white. Don't hate it because again, we're trying to save money here. That's the whole goal. So let me actually show you what it looks like when I try to get in. So there isn't a lot of room here. I am 5'11" for reference. So I gotta kind of do one of these here. Okay, I'm now sitting down. I got just enough headroom. You kind of can't see, well, if I lean back, there goes my head, but just enough headroom. You know, there's a little thing here. There's no vents back here. There's nothing crazy. Good view of the sunroof. Like, this is okay. Like, this is fine. I can do this. I got quite a bit of space underneath for my feet here. It's all right, because I moved the passenger seat up a little bit to be able to actually fit in here without making an absolute embarrassment of myself. So now I'm gonna try to move over. My driver profile, as you can kind of see already, the seat here, I'm like past the column for the middle of the car when I drive. Like, that's crazy. So let me try to fit behind my driver profile and show you what that looks like. We're gonna try to do this as gracefully as we can here. But, oh my God. Okay, so here we go. This is not comfortable at all. So, like, if you're driving behind a tall person and you're stuck in this seat, you gotta luck. You're gonna have a very uncomfortable time. And also what surprises me is that, well, there's no vents back here, and that's not an issue because it's so small that I'm getting the air anyway, so that's fine. But what also surprises me is the fact that there's no cup holders back here. Like, this doesn't even come down. There's no pass-through here, which would have been a good feature to have, but for some reason they didn't. But the seats are comfortable. I'll give them that. So the cloth is very good. The leather's very nice. I do like that. We do have some cup holders, like in the door sill here. We kind of have something, but you can't put anything like open. It has to all be closed. So I just find that interesting that they didn't include that. But anyways, that is what it is. So if you have a lot of interior passenger space, you might want to think to, hopefully you're a shorter driver and you can move yourself up, but that's pretty much going to do it. For the rear, let's hop up front. So now hopping over onto the interior of the Hyundai Venue, we have not a lot to go over, which is, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, because again, we're all about cost savings here. So that's what we're reviewing it on. That's what we're going off of. So first off, I have a very standard steering wheel with physical buttons for cruise control, different volume controls, mode controls, all that great stuff. It's all right here, so no problem at all there. Then on my left-hand side, I really only have two buttons. It's the illumination button and also the traction control on or off button. So again, not very much there. Side, I have basic, you know, window controls. The only one that's automatic is the driver window, and that only comes on the ultimate package, so just keep that in mind. Then you can see we have these white painted vents. So I really wish they were painted the same color as the body. I feel like that attention to detail would have made a difference, but unless you get it in white, then it's painted your body color. But in this case, it is not. But I do not mind it because it kind of splits up the black, because I think Hyundai noticed, holy good, my goodness, it is full of black in here. So they just kind of put some white accents to it, which does make the difference. I will say that. So it's not that terrible. So next we move on to our digital gauge cluster for the driver's screen here. It is digital. There's no problems with it. It's very basic information though. You don't get too much out of it. It's basically going to show you your speed, your RPM, and some different travel information. But then again, that we have a digital in a car that mates this price point, I really don't mind that. You would have seen the same gauge cluster if you would have saw the Kia Sportage or the Kia Soul. So it's kind of the same here, which is pretty cool. Next, we move to this tiny guy here in the middle, this infotainment display. There isn't much to say about it because there's probably about one screen for the whole like setup and everything. There really isn't much going on, but the good news is it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is crazy because the Ioniq 6 didn't even have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and here we are sitting in the Venue and it has it. So for whatever reason, Hyundai have decided to put it in one of their cheapest models. Couldn't tell you why though. And again, when it comes to the infotainment display, it is good for what it is. It is good for the price point and the size of the car. You don't need a huge TV screen in here. It's really just basic. You're controlling your music, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Then lower, we have some nice physical buttons. Very glad they did not put any touch buttons in here. I like the physical buttons. And then below, we have our one-zone automatic climate control. Again, a nice feature on the Ultimate trim. I do like that too. It's not dual zone because you really don't need it. It's a very small wheelbase, very small car. The single zone automatic climate control does the job pretty well. The AC runs a little bit loud outside of the car, but you don't care about that. That's just something to note. Then a little bit lower than that, we don't have any wireless charging pads. That would have been too expensive. And then we have USB-A and USB-C as well as a 12 volt right down there. Not too bad. Then we have this shifter that kind of reminds me of a manual shifter. I don't know why. This car might have been cool in manual. I don't know. With, again, that nice white trim around it just to kind of split things up. So it's same thing with the climate controls here. They all have that white, you know, ring around them. And then we have our driver controls. So we have a drive modes. We have eco, sport mode, and normal. And then we have some traction mode, you know, snow, mud, and sand. Very cool to have those. Don't know how much use you're going to get because it is a front wheel drive car. So, you know, your distance may vary on that. And then we actually have the front have heated seats, and I have a heated steering wheel. That's a very nice feature to have for a $30,000 car, which is pretty cool. And we have some storage over here and a glove box, and then also we have a sunroof up here, which is cool to have too. And then the seats. I think a lot of the car, you know, like I said, with the engine, they went cost savings. With, you know, maybe some of the other stuff on the exterior, they went cost savings, but they definitely did not cheap out on the seats. I'm very comfortable in these seats. I do like the design too. And there's a nice like bit of cloth and leather here. Not really a big issue with them. And then when we look at sound system, I mean, it's not much to write home about. You know, there's just not a lot of sound coming out of it. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but again, in the price point, it's all right for what it is. All right, here we are, 2023 Hyundai Venue on the road. So let's talk about how it's been this week. So really, it's not been that bad. Like honestly, I thought it would be worse. I started off being completely honest. It's not that bad. I thought it would be a lot more uncomfortable than it is. I thought the ride quality would suck a lot more than it does. So that's great, right? It's okay on fuel and stuff, but I'll get to it. It's more the engine. The engine is the biggest problem of the Venue, and I think it's, you know, it's something that I think they need to fix if they continue to sell this car, because you'll see just in a second here. So like I said, in the interior tour, I have 3 drive modes. You know, I have Eco, I have Sport, and then you just have normal, and then we have terrain modes, but I'm not going to be using those because I'm not driving in any type of crazy terrain. So anyways, let me rip it into Sport here, and I'll just put my foot to the floor all the way. So, as you could probably hear, undoubtedly you heard that, it's a lot of noise and not a lot of anything else. The engine almost hates when I do that. So, it's like, and you know, it just takes forever to get into gear to like pick up at all. There's just no pickup at all with the Venue. Like I said, it is the biggest issue. The IVT is not great either. I don't like CVT either, so I mean, no matter what you're going to do. But again, it all comes back to cost savings, right? They're not going to put a turbocharged because that's going to cost too much. They're not going to put, you know, a better engine. It's going to cost too much. So if they're trying to keep costs down and give people an SUV, all right. But I just feel like it needs like a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque, just to get past slow traffic. Because when you're already kind of like traveling at any type of speed, you're okay. Like I can accelerate, and then it's not that bad. It's just going from like a stop sign, or like if you have to speed up quickly, it's really not going to happen. I don't know. The 0 to 60 in this thing's probably like 18 seconds. Like it's nuts. And yes, I've been driving a lot of EVs, so I'm noticing a little bit more the lack of speed, but it's just, yeah. It's the part that sucks, because the handling isn't terrible. There is a little bit of body roll, but the handling isn't terrible. The ride quality isn't bad either. It just doesn't really go anywhere, and that's the thing. And that's why I say that this car is very, very good for like city driving, you know, back and forth to the grocery store kind of thing, or you live in a big city and you have to park in small spaces a lot. The compactness of this car, that suits it very, very well. So talking about fuel-wise as well, I'm at 8 liters per 100 kilometers exactly. Been driving it for a week pretty much. I do a lot of city driving, so if I did more highway, I think that number would be lower. And I have been driving in sport mode because the pickup is a little bit better in sport mode than in normal or eco. I just can't do eco. It's just way too slow for me. So I have been driving in sport mode, so I have been using a little bit more. So I feel like that number should be lower, and it probably would be if, you know, you're doing a lot more highway driving than I am. So it's not that bad either. So the Venue is one of 2 cheap vehicles that Hyundai offers. So the Venue would be the cheapest SUV option that you can get, and then the Hyundai Elantra would be the cheapest sedan option you get. For me, I think the Elantra at its base is probably a little bit better than the Venue in terms of space and everything else, but it's possible that the Venue has more features in the Ultimate trim than anything else. If I was going to buy a Venue for $30K, it does have a lot of the stuff that you want, so that's great. So if I was going to buy the Venue, I would do the Ultimate trim, because I just feel like that's the most value that you can get out of this thing. I don't think it gets any better than that. So I would do the ultimate package. It has to be the only one. I do see a lot of them on the road though, so that's good news for people that already own it and stuff like that. There is quite a lot of them, so Hyundai are selling these things. So I mean, and also if you have one and you enjoy it, who cares what I think, you know? And who cares what anybody thinks? It was the same situation for me with the Kia Soul. I felt the exact same. It's very hard to pick one because they're so similar. I think maybe just in terms of space, the Kia Soul has a bit of an edge for the rear space, but that's it. Like, I mean, that's it. The pickup was about the same. You know, it was just, you know, they're just commuter cars, and that's what they're good at. They're good at just being cars, and that's not terrible. So I think with that, we will get into the final thoughts. Now, hasn't been a long one, hasn't been a long talking part with the driving segment because there isn't a lot to go off. Like I just said, it has been a good commuter car. It gets you from point A to point B and has almost all the features that you would want or need from an SUV, right? They kind of cut out all the fancy crap and they just gave you the heated seats, heated steering, and, you know, one single zone climate control, and boom, you're good. And you even have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So there, you know, interior wise, I really don't have anything to complain about. Exterior wise, nothing there really either. I mean, it's a unique looking vehicle, and some people will like it and some people will hate it. That's kind of what it is with every vehicle. The biggest part is the engine just not being good at all, and the fact that they have an IVT, you know, the transmission is just not fun at all either. So that's the biggest issue. I think if they fix that or find a way to like maybe get a little bit more horsepower while still offering the same price point, or just putting in like a small turbocharged engine, you know, I know it's possible, and then still charging 30K, I think they have a bang on vehicle on this one. And I also think that it's maybe a missed opportunity for electrification. This thing as an EV would do really well, I think, or even a hybrid vehicle, but then you face the issue of they're not going to be available then, right? So it's going to be this cheap electric vehicle that'll sell like crazy, and then nobody will get their hands on it. So I get it. Hyundai are very much in kind of a balancing act right now, but if they do develop this platform further, I hope to see either a hybrid or an electric out of it, or at very least, if they're going to keep it going gas, just give us a little bit more oomph. Maybe take away the IVT. If you don't, you know, if you can't, obviously, you know, we're stuck with it, but just maybe give it a little bit more pickup. That's all it's missing. Other than that, it's a great commuter car for what you need it for, especially if you're driving in the city. Those small spaces, perfect, no problem at all, and you don't have a lot of space needs in terms of passengers, so it's great for that too. So overall, if it fits your needs, it is a very, very decent car, and the price point is so good. There's some brands that are going to charge you way over 30K for, you know, the basic features that we have in here. To me, they're the bare necessities. So I'm glad that they have all that. The Ultimate trim is not a bad looker either. So you know what? All in all, not a terrible car. I just wish they fixed the engine. That's it. That's literally it. So with that being said, I will leave it right there in terms of the review. So you can let me know what you think in the comments. You can let Niall know what you think in the comments. We're both in there. If you have any questions, I spent a week with the Venue. I can answer some questions. If I missed anything, let me know so we can have the discussion, and the people who are in the comments, they can see it. Make sure you subscribe to PRN. I'm over at Technically Cars. Make sure you subscribe here first and then come over to me. Watch the video over here, then watch the video on my side. And yeah, let us know what you think of the video. Let us know if you're in the market for a Venue or if you already own one, and let us know how you found it or find it. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and get out of here. Have a great weekend, whatever day you're watching it on, and we will see you in the next week. See you in the next video. Take care.